Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. So we are doing 65th shloka. We finished Bhanu Mandala Madhyastha and we've seen a few variations of those namas. Know that what we are talking about are only some definitions, not the full meanings. In either Vishnu Sahasranamam or Lalita Sahasranamam, there are much deeper meanings, and I spend a lot of time trying to dig through many of these. And sometimes I spend some of the namas I spend a little more time so you can understand the depth of what we can go into. So Bhairavi is one of those namas. I think the next few, there are quite a few, and then I'll spend a bit more time on Bhuvaneshwari as well. And that's Bhuvaneshwari is my favorite nama. It's my mother's name, and I'm very tied to that nama for some reason. So I'll spend a lot more time on that. So Bhanu Mandala Madhyastha, just as a reminder. So the mother, the Hiranyagarbha equivalent, is one thing we said. You know, she is at the center, at the core, the essence of Bhanu Mandalam. And we've also talked about Anahata Chakram. She is the one that is living in the Hridi, the Dharakasha, in the Hridayakasha. Now, moving to the nama, Bhairavi, one of those very, very important namas like Manonmani, Parvati, Bhavani. Bhairavi is also one of those namas. Bhairavi is the Shakti of Bhairava. And Bhairava nama is, you know, very, very important. So we'll look at what Bhairava stands for and then attribute all of those to Bhairavi nama. So Bhaskararaya starts with wife of Bhairava or Paramashiva, and he says Bhairava, all women taken collectively. And he says meaning is Shiva and words are Devi, which is the Vagardha Viva Samprukta Vagartha Pratipataye. So for every word, Shiva is the meaning and mother is the word that actually conveys the meaning of that word. So that's how he starts that. And he also talks about what is the Bhairavi mantra he just gives. Like nowhere you would see in any of those shastras, and in the latest books we are seeing, like on Google, etc., mantras are given. But in the past, you know, only secretively they would just talk about, hey, by that, this, and like, you know, they just make, and you have to make all the connections yourself. So he gives, you know, Tripura Chakreshwari mantra, just remove the R out of it and you get the Bhairavi mantra, but I will not say that out loud. So this is interesting. We do Kanya Puja, right? So I have the list here. Based on the age of the Kanya, there is a nama given to that child. So a 1-year-old Kanya, the 1-year-old girl is called Sandhya. 2-year-old is called Saraswati. 3-year-old is called Tridha. 4-year-old is called Kalika. 5-year-old is Shubhaga. 6-year-old is Uma. 7-year-old is Malini. 8-year-old is called Kubjika. 9-year-old Kala Sandarbha. 10-year-old is Aparajita. 11-year-old is called Rudrani. 12-year-old is called Bhairavi. That's where, you know, that's the other meaning. And I'll just go to 16. 13-year-old is called Mahalakshmi. 14-year-old is called Pittanayika. 15-year-old is called Kshetrajna. 16-year-old girl is called Ambika or Annada or Shodasi. So that's the second meaning of Bhairavi. Now we'll look at the various meanings of Bhairava. And in a Mahabhairava Pujita, I did mention that Bha stands for, like, you know, the various meanings that I have given for individual words, Bharava. So we'll look at those. Okay. So apart from Bha stands for sustenance, Ra stands for Ravanatvam, which is the Pralaya, and Va stands for Vamanatvam. It means Vamanatvam means vomit. So the one that creates everything. So he's the creator, sustainer, and the Pralaya Karta. Therefore, he is Bhairava. That is one of the namas, one of the meanings. The other meaning is he bears. So bhr is the word, the root word, dhatu. He bears or holds the universe through nourishing and supporting it, and he is, therefore, he is Bhairava. Then the third meaning for Bhairava is he is born and held by it, because he is in the form of Rava, which means he is the self-awareness, the aham, the consciousness that is across the whole universe. Therefore, he is considered as or held by the universe, or he is manifested by the universe. Then the third meaning, because he is the benefactor of those who are terrified by bhiru, the cycle of suffering. So he is the one who pulls us from the samsara, the samsara sagaram. Therefore, he is Bhairava. In all this, you would see that Bhagavan's nature of the transcendent as well as immanent. He is somewhere else and he is with us now. Then another meaning is one will become Shiva by constantly contemplating in mental utterance, Ucharana, the term Bhairava, understanding that it means he who sustains everything, he who produces it, and he who bestows all and pervades everywhere. And he is the one, he's born in the heart from the roar, Rava, or intensified awareness arising from the dread bhiti of the samsara sagaram. He is the one by whom awareness of the fear of mundane existence is manifested through the descent of his powers. There are multiple more meanings, so we won't go into all of that. The last one that I wanted to just mention was he is the one who devours time. And when we say that, he is manifest in those yogins whose minds savor the meditative state which goes beyond time. So the Kalatita Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that state, when you go there, that person is actually a manifestation of Bhairava. So even for that one, there is like derivations. Bha means nakshatra, Ira means preraka, time is there, which is equal to time, bhera, plus Va from Vayanti is Sosham Kurvanti Bhairavaha, therefore he is Bhairava. Meaning the yogins who wither time and whose Lord is Bhairava, they who directly experience Bhairava. So that, the one that is experienced in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So of all of these meanings, she is Bhairavi, and so apply the same attributes over here. One other thing I also want to mention is when we say Bhairava, there are 8 Bhairavas. In a different book, I have seen 10. So I thought, I'll just mention the names of Bhairavas, because even that itself gives a lot of punya and lots of relieving us from the samsara. So if you want to write down, the first Bhairava is Asitanga Bhairava. He faces the east. Then Ruru Bhairava faces southeast. Chanda Bhairava faces south. Krodhana Bhairava southwest. Unmatta Bhairava west. Kapala Bhairava northwest. Bhishana Bhairava north. And Samhara Bhairava northeast. So these are the 8 Bhairavas. Somebody is not on mute. Okay, so
can you please repeat it once more?
Yeah, I can. Asitanga Bhairava. Start from east and they just go in clockwise direction from there. So I won't mention the directions. Asitanga Bhairava, Ruru Bhairava, Chanda Bhairava, Krodhana Bhairava, Unmatta Bhairava, Kapala Bhairava, Bhishana Bhairava, and Samhara Bhairava. So all these 8 Bhairavas, there are elements of these Bhairavas. So they are connected to the Panchabhutas and the Agni, not Agni, sorry, the Chandra, Surya, and Atma Tattvas. So they have their own Tattvas, as well as what they bestow us for us is creating like that the selflessness, removing all the evils, making sure like we are progressing, removing fear of samsara. So each Bhairava has their own elements on what they bring to us. So with the nama Bhairavi, you get the benefit of all of these, is how it has been explained is in one of the tantras I was just trying to look into. So there are another.
Excuse me, sorry. Does the directions go east to back to east clockwise?
Correct. East, southeast, south, west, like that.
Okay, thank you.
I've also seen a different set of Bhairavas. There are 10 Bhairavas, but these are the 8. I did not understand what's the difference between the two. So I have not also seen, I think there are many Bhairavas. I think, I'm just looking at another one. So this has a different set. If you don't write this down, there are too many to write, but I'll just mention them. Hetuka Bhairava, Tripurantaka Bhairava, Agnijihva Bhairava, Yamajihva Bhairava, Ekapada Bhairava, Kala Bhairava, Karala Bhairava, Bhimarupa Bhairava, and Hatakeshwara Bhairava. So I have seen the same set in a different one as well. So there are about 18 different sets of namas that we are looking at, but the 8 that we first read, those are, I think, the most popular in tantras and most popular to eradicate a lot of evils that cover us, the ajnanam, the avidya, or any the Arishad Vargas. He moves us forward. So with that Bhairavi nama, just even if we say Bhairavi multiple times throughout the day, she moves us forward in our pursuit towards moksha. Make sense?
The 10 could be above and below, you think?
So the way in Tantra that I was looking at, they actually gave it in the same directions along with the up and down. How Indra or the Dasha Dikpalakas are positioned, right? So they were giving the same kind of positions for these Dasha Bhairavas.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So next nama, beautiful, Bhagamalini. So and now think all of these are all connected together. We are in the same Bhanumandala Madhyastha till Bhogini. This is all connected, one Mala mantra. So the one in Bhanumandala Madhyastham, the one living in the Daharakasha, that mother is named as Bhairavi. And Bhagamalini. So because she is in the Bhanumandala Madhyam, all the rays of Surya are doing a mala for her. That's why she is Bhagamalini. Bhaga means like a race, right? So it's as if you can imagine in the Daharakasham, mother doing a Padmasana. We will also come to that nama very soon. The very next nama, Padmasana. So in a Padmasana, mother is sitting in the Daharakasham, and around her is this mala of rays that is forming around her. That's one meaning. Bhagamalini is a Nitya Devi. If you remember the 15 Tithi Nitya Devis that we have previously talked about, Bhagamalini is the Nitya Devi for the second Tithi Vidya. So in the Shukla Paksham, if you're taking from from Amavasya till Paurnami, then she falls on the second day towards full moon, and 14th, 14th, when you're talking about the Krishna Paksham, the waxing waning moons. So she is Bhagamalini, and Bhagamalini Nitya has, you would actually see, if you see Bhagamalini Nitya's picture, she's glowing in yellow and everything is glowy. I'm assuming everybody has those 15 Nitya Devi pictures that we have previously posted in the forum multiple times. Go look at that. The Devi, it should be the second picture, ideally. I don't recollect exactly.
Yeah, it is second, but the 14th one is Jwala
Should be
Malini.
the picture. She's the Veena. Oh, that's what I'm confusing with. The Jwala Malini is the one that has yellow, right? What am I confusing with? 1 second. Let me just show you a picture. Nitya Devi research. Second.
Nitya is shown as the 10th one.
Oh, okay. So I was confusing her to Jwala Malini, who has all the yellow. So Bhagamalini is this picture.
Okay.
So that's one meaning. And her mantra is the longest of all the Nitya Devi mantras, and it has Bhaga almost 17 times in that mantra. And then there is the Bhaga Vashankari, etc. Like, come in that. So if you look at the word Bhaga, you connect it back to Bhagavan, meaning from Vishnu Sahasranamam, the possessor of those 6 qualities. Right? So if you connect those, she's the one that possesses all of those. She has a mala of all those 6 things. And with the next nama, Bhagavati is coming very soon, so I can actually bring that forward a little bit. So Bhagavan or Bhagavati are the ones that has the 6 apps in the absolute measure. They are Aishwaryam, Dharmam, Yashas, Shri, Jnana and Vairagya. And we have seen a shloka for this in the past as well. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Dharmasya, Yashasriyaha, Jnana Vairagya, Yoshchaiva, Shannam Bhagavatirinam. So this was in our Bhagavad Gita book as well, in our home study book. So the one that possesses these in the absolute measure. So these are like a mala around the mother. So therefore she is Bhagamalini. And in not Vishnu Sahasranam, Vishnu Puranam and Devi Shaptashati, there is something like there is another 6 characteristics or attributes that have been given. Utpattim, so Pralayam, the creation and the Pralaya. Bhutanam Agatim Gatim. So of all the, everything, all the pranis, when they come and go into manifestation, Veti Vidyam Avidyam. So who is like knows the knowledge and also the avidya. All of these are called as Bhagas, and the one that possesses these are Bhagavati, and the one that possesses these as Mala is Bhagamalini. So these are the ones I remember for now, but I thought there were more. Bhaskara Raya also talks about Bhagamalini is one of the 15 Nitya Devis and the school of Dakshinamurti Sampradayam, which is what I follow. So he is talking about the same, Avarana Devatas of Bhagamalini are also, all their names also start with Bhaga. That's why her mantra is so long and has Bhaga multiple times. Okay, moving to the next nama.
Shriji, can I see the picture one more time, please?
Sure, of course. Can you see it?
Thank you, Shriji.
Shriji, can I ask a quick question? So the 6 characters are Aishwaryam, Sri, Yashash, Gnanam, Vairagyam, and what's the 6th one?
Dharmam.
Thank you.
Okay. So the next nama is Padmasana. So pretty straightforward for us to understand. She is sitting in Padmasanam. But look at Kamakshi's picture. Yesterday, my sister-in-law actually sent me a beautiful picture of the mother that was in that asana. My sister-in-law is also online, so she can pull up the picture. Okay. Yeah. Do you see that pic? So in that This is a variant Padmasanam, where both the feet are visible and visible facing upwards. Not an easy asana, but they say this is an asana where this is the Tarana asana for us, because both feet are visible. So we see Sri Chakram in the feet of the mother on her soul. They are facing upwards, so she through in this asana. They say, and this is one of those of many the Kundalini awareness, that happens very quickly. So think about that particular asana in the Daharakasham, and with all of these bhagas like the rays of the as her garland. So just know this is the kind of visualization that you can do for the Banu Mandala Madhyastha.
What is
stimulated? So moving to, sorry, what was that, Bhavani ji?
It got cut off. It got cut off where you said some center is stimulated.
Kundalini Shakti is stimulated and gets activated by doing that particular very asana. They say that that's what happens.
Thank you.
And the meaning that Bhaskara Raya provides is very different. So he says Padmasana is the wife of Brahma. Padma, lotus, the leaves are prakritis, the filaments are the categories, and the stalk is knowledge, etc. Such is her seat, is how he explains it. And Pa means goddess Lakshmi, Mother Lakshmi, and Sana means distributing. So, she is the one who bestows and distributes wealth for people. Therefore, she is Padmasana. And then the other meaning is Padma is the Daityas or the Asuras, and Sana is to kill. The slayer of the Daitya is Padmasana, and Padma, the Bindu, etc. So in Rabhasa it says Padma means lotus, numbers called Vyuha, Nidhi and Bindu. They should be applied in this sense. I don't know what that means. I have not done research on that. But Padmasana is has these other meanings. Moving to the next nama, Bhagavati. We just discussed about it. The full supremacy, righteousness, fame, prosperity, wisdom, and discrimination. These are the 6 qualities we just talked about. So the one that has all of these is Bhagavati. And of course, when you worship her, she provides those in relative measure to us and makes us limitless as well. Therefore, she is Bhagavati. The next nama is Padmanabha Sahodari, is one single nama. So straightforward for us to understand from this lens. So the sister of Padmanabha, Lord Mahavishnu. And the way it is explained in Bhaskara Raya's book, he says, according to Shaiva Agamas, the one Brahman forms into 2 aspects. One is the Dharma aspect, and the other one is Dharmi. Dharmi, the one that possesses Dharma. Again, these aspects have been divided into male and female. The male is Lord Vishnu, who is the material cause of the entire universe, and the female aspect is a spouse of Paramashiva. So the secret of the Shaiva theory is that these 3 in combination become the one indivisible Brahman. Now, connecting back to Vishnu Sahasranamam. So Vishwam eti vyapnoti iti Vishnuhu. That's why Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkara. The first 2 namas describe everything about Lord Vishnu, who Vishnu is. 1 second. So when there is Brahman, the unmanifest, and then the universe manifested, the consciousness traveled and pervaded everything as the universe was manifesting and expanding, or it's still expanding. In this case, he is the consciousness himself that spread across, and he is the dharma that spread across, and she is the one that manifests that consciousness into the very nature of the energy matter combination. So the three together are the Param Brahman, is how it is explained. So I don't know if it was clear to you. Just try to draw all of those lines from Vishnu Sahasranamam and Lalita Sahasranamam. None of them are contradictory to each other. These three aspects have to be put together to call that Brahman. There are some secrets in this. So they say, and we've seen the previously Madhya Kuta Swarupini, Shakti Kuta Ikatapanna Kattido Bhagadarini, that set of mantras where we said Panchadashi mantra, instead of that, those could be chanted. So here, even this one falls into that category. So Vagbhava, the first division of the Panchadashi mantra. So we said there were three divisions, right? Vagbhava Kutam. That one, this contains, like, Padmasana means it represents the first kuta, Bhaga represents the second kuta, and Vati represents the third kuta. And then Padmanabha, so and Sa and Hoda, like, there is a whole way that, he gives a scientific way to derive all of this. So there is the very beautiful Bijaksharam, that is like the Bhuvaneshwari Bijaksharam, that also comes into this. And together, this whole Padmasana Bhagavati, Padmanabha Sahodari, this is Panchadashi mantras representation. Just FYI, if you want to highlight that line.
Sriji, can you please repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
No worries. So Padmasana. So what we are talking about is the whole second line of the 65th shloka. This is an equivalent of the Panchadashi mantra. In Panchadashi, there are 3 sets. So there are 15 syllables in all in that mantra that are divided into 3 sets. The first set has 5 syllables. The second set has 6 syllables, and the third set has 4 syllables. There are some common syllables that are in each of those 3 kutas. So this particular line, Padmasana, indicates the first kuta, and Bhaga indicates the second kuta, and Vati indicates the third kuta, but there are some syllables that got missed out of it, which are covered under the Padmanabha Sahodari. Ultimately, what you need to understand is, by chanting this Padmasana Bhagavati Padmanabha Sahodari, you are chanting Panchadashi mantra. Make sense? Okay, assuming so. We'll move to the next nama. Unmesha Nimishotpanna Vipanna Bhuvanavalihi is one single nama. So we need to chant this shloka, I believe. So we'll do that. Sahasra Sirsha Vadana is one nama. Sahasrakshi is one nama, and Sahasrapat is the other nama. So in the first line there is only one, and in the second line there are 3 namas. Yeah. So Vali, yeah, this is one of those unique ones. Bhuvana, Valihi. Notice the visarga at the end has to be pronounced really well, but otherwise everything is straightforward. Who would like to chant this shloka?
I can, Sriji.
Unmesha nimishotpanna vipanna bhuvanavalihi sahasrasirsha vadana sahasrakshi sahasrapat.
Unmesha nimishotpanna vipanna bhuvanavalihi sahasrasirsha vadana sahasrakshi sahasrapat.
Awesome. So we'll look at the meanings now. Unmesha, nimisha, utpanna, vipanna, bhuvanavalihi. So that those are the words that you can break this into. What it means is pretty interesting. The series of worlds arise and disappear with the opening and shutting of her eyes. So, and you can take it as a different meaning, where with the wink of an eye, she created the whole universe within the time span of wink of an eye. That's how we can say it. So, unmesha means blinking, right? So, in that nimisha utpanna vipanna bhuvanavalihi. So, they say, since the eyes of Devi never close, the expression opening and shutting refer to the influence of the destiny of the beings or to her mere wish. So there is a tantra that gets quoted here. By her mere wish, the whole universe appears and disappears. The creation of the Supreme is simply the expression of his wish. The universe consisting of the seer, the seen, and the seeing with all its parts existed in you before you thought of the creation. And he is now, Kalidasa is praising the mother here. At the manifestation of the universe, at your will, your eyes open. At the destruction of the universe, at your will, your eyes shut. So they say, like, mother cannot ever blink, because as soon as she blinks, the whole universe goes into pralaya. So what we say is, within, like, it took no time to create the universe. It just did not happen. When we talk about did not happen, like, it's not about species growing from, like, from amphibians to humans. That's not what we're talking about. The existence of creation, the existence of matter and energy, with the explosion, with the Big Bang, it just got created within no time. So, unmesha nimishotpanna vipanna bhuvanavalihi. And vipanna is that pralaya. Right? Next nama is Sahasra Sirshavadana Sahasrakshi Sahasrapada. I think we'll take all these three together, and we've been seeing the same thing. So Narayana Suktam or Purusha Suktam, again, just going back to a lot of namas in Vishnu Sahasranamam relate to that. Mother with 1,000 faces and 1,000 eyes, 1,000 feet, and 1,000 is Sahasra, we say, is represents 1,000 as well as infinity. So she has infinite number of faces, infinite number of eyes, and infinite number of feet. Okay. So even here, actually, he did a derivation of some of those mantras, but that would be related to Bhuvaneshwari. So we'll take those derivations when we get to Bhuvaneshwari. So I'll skip this here and go to the next nama. I'm assuming, like, we don't need to ponder a lot more on the Sahasra Sirshavadana, Sahasrakshi, Sahasrapath. Everybody knows those. Abrahma Kita Janani. So that's one nama. Varnashrama Vidhayini is another nama. Nijajna Rupa Nigama is one nama. Punya Punya Phalaprada is one nama. I think no specific nuances here for chanting. Who would like to chant the shloka?
Yeah.
Abrahmakita Janani Varnashrama Vidhayini Nijajna Rupa Nigama Punya Punya Phalaprada.
Abrahmakita Janani Varnashrama Vithayini Nijatya Rupa Nigama Punya Punya Phalaprada.
Awesome. Brahma, all the way from Brahma. Kita Janani, all the way from Brahma to a Kita. So we call it, like, Brahma Pipilika Paryantam. Everything that exists starting from Brahma himself, the Chaturmukha Brahma, to every Kita, every insect that exists. She is the one who is the mother for all of this. She is the Janani for everything, everybody. That is Brahma Kita Janani. The next nama is Varna Ashrama Vidhayini. Varnas the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra Varnas, as well as the 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasa ashramas. She is the one who ordered. She is the one who established the castes and the different ashramas. She is the, establish is the right word. Varna ashrama vidhayini. So there is a lot of discussion about that, and even in if you go to chapter 4, I believe 14th shloka or 13th shloka, where Bhagavan also says guna karma vibhagataha, he created those orders. Over a period of time, they lost flavor, and many people have manipulated to what it currently stands as. But the way it was created by the mother, or when we talk about Lord Krishna, the Lord creating these Varanas and ashramas, there was absolute logic in how they did it. So if everybody understands how Varanas work, and I don't want to assume anything, that's why I'm asking the question. Did we already discuss this? Do you know the real essence of Varanas and ashramas? Or do we want to spend a little bit of time on this? I don't want anybody to go back to think, oh, mother created all these Varanas, and the way we see it are more human manipulated than how the Lord created them.
Gigi, I'd like to hear.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. So based on, if you think about it, I should have had my PowerPoint up. Draw this little flow chart, if you have your pen and paper with you. There are 3 kinds of ways to categorize based on Varna. One is Guna, Karma, and Jati. Guna means based on Sattva, Rajas, Tamas combination. And these 3 gunas exist in everybody. But the composition of which gunas are predominant than the others makes one person to be of a particular Varna. So that is the guna-based Varna Dharma. Then based on the profession one chose. That is the karma-related Varna. And Jati is based on which Varna they are born into. So when Bhagavan explains in Bhagavad Gita, he does not even say Jati. That was created much later. That was created manipulated by human beings. So we'll focus on the first 2 because we kind of are more familiar, unfortunately, with the Jati Varnam, and we lost the knowledge about the first 2. So Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. These are the 3 gunas. And Sattva is very focused on knowledge primarily, and Rajas is passionate, or passion, aggression related, all of those aspects come into Rajas. And Tamas is more complacency, laziness, it falls into Tamas. So they say, if you think about Brahmana Varnam, somebody who belongs to that, a person that has Sattva primary with a bit of Rajas and almost very little of Tamas, that person is considered Guna Brahmana. Okay? So Brahmana equals Sattva, so let's assume 2/4, maybe, or 3/4, and Rajas like another 20%, and Tamas say 5%. Then if you think about Kshatriya, and the reason why that is for Brahmana, because the person who is always seeking knowledge and who is active, who is not lazy, that person is called as a Guna Brahmana. Now think of Guna Kshatriya. A person who is highly Rajasic, but a lot of Sattva. Think of the kings of the olden days, where they are into administration, they love their people, they're trying to do something for the welfare of their subjects. And they're passionately driven, and they need their aggression. They need to go, like, they have to build their warfare, etc., etc. So, and with very limited tamas again. So essentially shift the rajas and the sattva and rajas in a kshatriya. Rajas predominant, sattva is a big component, and tamas very limited. Now, if you go to the next guna vaishya, in this case, there is rajas plus tamas, in the sense of more of material aspects is what matters to that person, and less of sattva. This is the guna vaishya. And this is important for a merchant, knowledge for a smaller degree, but at the same time, there is a lot of material gain is what they are focused on, and needs that passion to and have the drive to go generate the kind of business that they are looking for. And then guna shudra. In this case, tamas is predominant. Complacency to go learn, complacency to be active. Somebody tell me and I follow, that leadership quality that we talk about in either Kshatriya or in the Brahmana or in the Vaishya. There are leadership qualities. It's more of a follower of somebody else. Tell me what to do and I'll go do that. And some rajas is required to get actions done, and very limited sattva. So this is called as guna shudra. Now think about karma. Karma means based on profession. So the reason varnashrama would have been created is so the right person can choose the right profession. If I am somebody who is not interested in teaching or gaining knowledge or being focused on welfare of other people, then I cannot become a teacher. I would not be very happy becoming a teacher, but I'd rather do something else that suits what my guna is. So Bhagavan first uses the term guna, and then he says guna karma vibhagataha is how he places it. So ideally, people should understand what their composition is. And this composition, though is very innate and natural to a person, over a period of time, they can move towards and shift towards a composition that they prefer. If the person is choosing based on his karma, based on the guna, that person is in the right profession. But if somebody does not think about that and they just choose based on what's currently highly beneficial or pays higher amounts of money, for example, there was a time everybody was into petroleum, then everybody was into software, now everybody wants to do business. So if is it based on what you are and what suits you versus what is more beneficial to do, then that is professional, choosing a profession based on pure karma. And the person may, at a later time, if it doesn't gel with their personality, then they have to shift, and career changes, etc., will happen. Then jati is, a family would have thought about, okay, I have learned this art of making pots, and I've been a potter all my life. I have so much knowledge in this that I can pass on to my next generation. And they become experts potters because they have been seeing that clay for since their childhood, and somehow they felt comfortable being in that profession. That's how it might have all started, and somehow it got to a point where it is ugly, dark sides of things, where people were told, if you are a potter, you need to, if you are born into a potter's family, you need to be a potter. But that's not how the Varnashrama was created. Even if you go into Apastamba Sutras or any of those Shruti, even Smritis, you would see this. Even in the Bodhayana, even until then, it wasn't the distinction. After that, it just started becoming the ugly truth. And with all the invasions and everything, we lost the primary knowledge and we are left with what is a caste system, which is not what Varna is supposed to mean. Did that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah,
Sriji.
Yes,
That's
Sriji.
very clear.
Yes. So then we are having so many problems now just because of this, because of the misunderstanding and misfit in different professions.
Exactly. That's the whole point. And these are changeable, and it is not easy to change a guna composition for sure, but it is not impossible. Now, I want you all to think about this matrix I will share on the screen. So I'm hoping you can see it. So we are all born Shudras. On day one, we are not looking for knowledge, nor are we, active. Oh, I don't know what happened. Sorry. Share this screen instead. Plot yourself onto this. Okay. Plot yourself on where you fit. And I always say in my Gita classes is we are a combination of all of these four. I'm a Shudra. I still have to do my dishes, and I have so many things that I would do that all fall into what's called as a Jati Shudra work right now, Karma Shudra. And I do work for money, and I have compensation for what I do. So I'm also a Vaishya. I fight for some rights, and I fight for whatever dharma I think of, philanthropy, etc. So I'm a Kshatriya. And I am interested in knowledge. I seek knowledge, not just the material knowledge. I also seek the spiritual knowledge and Shastras. So therefore, I have a composition of Brahmana. So all of us, despite who we are seeking all four. So this is kind of completely blended into who and what we do. But which one is predominant? Which one are you focused on primarily? That's, mark that as who you are, in which column you fit into. Then based on Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, Vanaprastham is considered after retirement, but I personally feel, and it is actually defined as once your children are about 20-21 years of age, you are a Vanaprasthi. Each of these are 21 years long. Brahmacharya lasts 21 years. By 42, Grihastha ashrama should complete, and then people go into Vanaprastha, and then go into a sannyas ashrama. So Vanaprastha to me is very close to an empty nester. And what your focus should be at that time, and plot, use this matrix to plot yourself and see if that is where you are comfortable. If you're not, if being somehow uncomfortable, just driving yourself on what are the activities you need to do to move yourself in this matrix. And none of this is low or high. It is just based on what you want and what you're seeking in life. So do that plotting, and let me know if you have any questions or if you need any ideas on moving yourself from where I am, where am I, and where do I need to go.
Sriji, it just shows the oneness of humanity, Sriji, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
You're just moving into the different parts of the matrix.
exactly. And it is logically organized for us. So it is about getting that happiness, right? Don't pick a profession that doesn't suit your personality. First, based on your personality, just understand who you are, then pick a profession. And only for a certain amount of time you can be earning. When we say, even 80-year-olds are working, say Warren Buffett says, I'm still working. Fantastic. That's being a Vaishya forever in your life. But that's not what we are taught. You have to move to dharma. And you just think about the plot artha, kama, dharma, and moksha into this as well. Artha purely based on just money, nothing else matters to me. And purely like pleasures. And then I go into dharma, when I go into that kshatriya mode. And then I go into the brahmana, I'm seeking knowledge and I'm seeking moksha. Not everybody needs to seek everything. But understanding who we are innately and what suits us, and if I'm comfortable there, stay there, no problem. But if you are feeling uncomfortable, something's missing in life, then stop seeking and adding more things into the same box. find a different cell that you need to move into or that will make you more comfortable, and then lead it. Somebody may not be interested in leading people and maybe in a supervisor position, and if they feel like, somebody just tell me what to do, instead of expecting me to say something, then move to a different matrix or different cell in the matrix.
Sriji, not only that, they say when we get up, when we get up in the morning, we are all more the sattvic, right? Start the day in the sattvic mode. By noon, we are in the rajasic mode, and by evening, we are all in the tamasic mode.
It is the very nature of we need to sleep, we need to wake up, so we need to do our activities, and that composition exists, but innately throughout the day, we are not rajasic, right? So what is that composition with that nature of the active nature? What am I seeking? That's what I think this matrix is about, Satiji. And with when I said it is not impossible to get to a different composition through pranayama, through yoga, there are so many activities from I'm say, for example, I'm feeling rajasic and I want to feel sattvic. There are specific pranayamas that are prescribed to do, and nadi shodhana, for example, or you think about the shambhavi mudra. There are some mudras and pranayamas that change your composition at that moment. But ultimately, as the innate nature will always stay, and we always tend to move towards that. I don't know if I made sense with that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm just thinking, some people, sometimes you find happiness in doing certain something. Now, when you've gone there, then you've really matched with your guna. That's why, because you're getting that, it's not about material, it's about the satisfaction and the happiness that is innate in you.
Correct. That's correct. And that fullness that we get when we do certain activities, to your point, and and we all need that. I cannot say somebody is not tamasic because they need to fall asleep, and to fall asleep you need that tamasic nature. That's how our life is divided, and that's what Satiji is talking about. Throughout the day, all of these will help us do our activities correctly. But what is innate to the person is how the varna is based. Go ahead, Bhavani.
Yes, that's right.
My question is, what is the real definition of the function of a sannyasi? Because if they are to detach themselves from the rest of the world and pursue knowledge and pursue the Parabrahman, they are denying the brahmacharis from the knowledge they gained all through their life, aren't they? Should they be cut off from the world?
No. So sannyasi, the word sannyasa means that the goal is moksha, and excluding all else, you're just focused on gaining knowledge about Brahman.
Yes,
so all the knowledge that they would have acquired throughout the life, whether it is through proper schooling, from Gurukulam, anything, they are applying all of that to gain the knowledge about Brahman.
Yes, don't they have the responsibility to share that knowledge?
Yes, they do. That's why, when we talk about Swami Chinmayananda or Swami, even Shankaracharya or Ramanujacharya, they've always shared, and that's where the difference comes, right? So do you know of sannyasis who charge money and for sharing the knowledge? Do they fit into this cell then?
Right.
Right? And sannyasis who are fighting for causes, do they fit into a Kshatriya sannyasi? I don't know. I'm just asking the question here. Right?
Yeah.
And somebody who's probably just sitting and I'm just not connecting to anybody, I'm just going to sit in a cave and I'll just do my meditation. Are they here?
Right. My question is, do the Vedas or wherever this is designed, do they not give them a responsibility to share it with the rest of the world, or at least with the brahmacharis who are trying to learn. I can understand people like Swami Chinmayananda or any swamis for that matter. What about a common man who has gone through the stage of grihastha and vanaprastha and then into sannyasa?
So in the sannyasa, so when we talk about brahmacharis and teaching them, it's usually a gruhastha or a vanaprastha teachers in the past used to have those gurukulas. A sannyasi is not supposed to hold any assets. But
Right,
And
right.
in the forest, if
Sridevi ji,
somebody...
there is, sorry,
Go ahead, Shajiji.
there is a very nice statement coming from the Veda which says Samyak Nyasam Idi Sannyasam, where
Yeah.
you give up everything. And that is why when a lot of the people do it, most of the people who live in a daily livelihood job, right? That is why when a sannyasi goes into it, he performs a mundan. He even takes a tuft from his head, saying that my grihastha life is over. And he is going above all the varnas. That is what different varna people used to wear different upanayanam threads. And when a person going into sannyasi mode takes off the upanayam thread, he cuts it off and throws it into the Agni. So that is basically, he says, I am beyond all that. So a sannyasi is someone who's sincerely seeking the moksha and who's getting closer and closer to the path. So having said that, our smritis do state that when there is a crisis, sannyasis do come. They come and help. Could that be any sort of a societal work or educational work or any health related work? There are multiple examples in it. And there are a couple of groups of people whom Adi Shankaracharya Bhagavad specifically created whenever the religion or the Shastra is in trouble to come back and help them out. Having said that, most of the typical sannyasis back then used to take up higher grounds so that they can concentrate more and avoid lesser distractions from the world. That is why they always preferred higher grounds or higher mountains. So that is one of those favorite examples Swami Chinmayananda and Swami Tapovan had, which was very often quoted in the Chinmaya mission, where Swami Tapovan used to mention to Swami Chinmayananda, saying that if people are interested, let them come over here and let them learn. This has been the tradition in India for a very long time. And I was told that this story happened sometime in the 1950s. But then Swami Chinmayananda looks at the Ganges heading from the Uttarakashi and going down. Then he shows his Ganges to Swami Tapovan, his guru, and tells him, look at Ganges. It's going down, helping people, serving the needs of the humanity. So this is what I want to do. I don't want to sit here, but instead I'm going to start my Jnana Yajna. I'm going to come down. I'm going to meet people, mingle with them, and share this knowledge. I'm going to meet the people instead of people coming over to meet me. So there are multiple examples, multiple quotes, and various books I've read where sannyasis do come and do. But the main intent looking from a Purusharthic perspective is a lot different. So we need to look at it in two different angles. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Swami Chinmayananda actually, is one of those, I think, trendsetters where we could actually get this jnana. Otherwise, how many of us would have had the opportunity to go and study? I bow to him for the effort that he put into bringing this to regular people. And so did, Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya. Otherwise, we would not have had this much of knowledge, and how Shankaracharya went and established across the country four times.
And
Shajiji, can
Yeah.
you please repeat that stance, that shloka?
Samyak Nyasam iti Sannyasam. This is one of the niruktis that come up. So you're giving up everything, right?
Okay.
And there is also a statement which I read that back in old and Vedic time, there were 4 things in life for which they will never attach any values. The first one was Vidyadanam, sharing knowledge. The second was Annadanam, giving food. The third one was Aushadadanam, giving medicine. to the sick and the needy. And the fourth one was called Abhayadanam, providing asylum or protecting others. So even sannyasis who have given up everything, when they feel that the whole society is going haywire and they have to pitch in and help, especially when it comes to Vidyadanam, Annadanam, Aushadadanam, or Abhayadanam, they always come down to the common ground with the common man, mingling shoulders to shoulders, and they help them. But when a society is in a good progressive mode, these people go back and seek the higher self. So this is how I have interpreted it based on my limited knowledge.
Absolutely.
What was the fourth? Vidyathanam, Annadanam.
Annadanam,
Abhayadanam.
Aushadadanam, Aushadam, medicine.
Yeah.
And the fourth one is called Abhayadanam, asylum, protecting others, protecting the weak. Anyone who comes to them with the help of helping. That is why a lot of sannyasis, a lot of people from different varnas have all taken up arms. This is a beauty of our Hindu society.
I think Shriji posted something before about this as well. There's a,
Yes,
about the
I was just
Vidyadanam.
going to,
Yeah.
I was going to say that too. What Shriji posted, that these things are supposed to be free for the society. And of course, now it has completely changed.
Yeah. Even if you go to Karnataka in certain locations in small hamlets, when people serve food in a restaurant or when you go and meet an Ayurvedic doctor, they will never collect money. They will say, if you wish, you can just drop it in the hundi there, but they will not extend their hands and get money from you. There are very few hamlets still left. But
Yeah, a lot of... Go ahead.
Padmaji?
Yeah, we went to a family in a hamlet and we had food in their home. It was so beautiful and they wouldn't take any money. There was some place there. They said, just drop whatever you can. And if you can't also, that's okay. You can just drop. It was so beautiful an experience. We wanted to stay off from all the hotels, all the restaurants, and we wanted to go back down to the basics. And we had such a wonderful experience. We cannot get that experience even paying, thousands of dollars. So beautiful. Yes, I agree, Shadiji. Your explanations were so good. Thank you so much.
And Bhavaniji, you were saying something?
I've also experienced some Ayurvedic physicians who would not take any consulting fees. Actually, some of them are based on no consultation fee, but only medicines will be charged.
Yeah.
But even that is supposed to be free.
Yeah, and now there is a little bit of a procurement problem, right? Even for Ayurveda, unfortunately. So I think that's when they are charging only for medicines. Yeah. And everything is based on that dharma, right? Ultimately, dharma comes first, and then the artha, kama follow, but your ultimate goal being moksha. But we know people who charge and have import-export businesses, etc., even being sannyasis. And that's when I'm talking about, the Kshatriya sannyasis, or sorry, the Vaishya sannyasis. I won't take names, but there are those as well.
Yeah, those are the Kshatriya or Vaishya sannyasis.
Yeah.
And theoretically, they should not be they should not be considered sannyasis anymore. They will be teachers.
Correct. Where the acharya comes into picture, and I so many times I would think we call everybody guru and everything else, but for some reason for Shankaracharya it's Shankaracharya, and Ramanujacharya, even they at that time did not call themselves guru. We call them acharyas. They're not acharyas to me. They are everything to me. And for some reason, whenever I take that name, I keep thinking, is really like Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya Acharya and Madhvacharya?
Well,
And somehow when you call me like Guru, I'm like, it's so embarrassing to me. So,
That was interesting. Very interesting discussion.
Sriji, because of this, like what Bhavani ji said, I also know one of my cousins is a doctor in Bangalore, and he has a clinic, and there is no fees scheduled, nothing. He keeps a box there, and he tells people you can do what you want, and you should see the lineup of all types of people in that. So because of all these good people, we can be assured of some more life in this Kali Yuga because of the dharma that they are doing.
yeah, very much. And it is like, it starts with us, right? Always, like as Mahatma Gandhi says, be the change you want to see. So when we portray dharma, and I think everybody just know, hopefully there will be more dharma left. And to Satiji's point, we are still in the very early stages of Kali Yuga. I think it'll be, and I keep thinking, like, if this is the state of Kali Yuga in just this short period of time, I don't know what 400,000 years later would be.
Unbelievable, right? Oh my God! Don't want to even think or experience that.
Think about 30 years from now, 30 years ago, how things were when we think about medical facilities and how our childhood was, and to what it is today. There is so much that transformed in 30 years, and 300,000, 400,000 years is going to be crazy.
Sriji, the good news is they say in the Vedic, in the Kali Yuga, there's a golden period from 2012 onwards. Remember 2012, they had this talk about ending of the world, all those. At that time, it actually started the golden period according to our Vedas in Kali Yuga. For the next 10,000 years, it's going to be the golden period. That's where most of the people will get enlightened and merge with God at that time. And that's happening already. It's a lot of research is going into consciousness. And if you look around, you see more and more people getting involved in the spiritual field and spiritual interest. So this 10,000 years, most of them, all these people who are supposed to merge, they will all merge within that 10,000. After that is going to be the real Kali Yuga. All the worst scenes of Kali Yuga will be after that. That's what in the Vedic prophecy it says.
I did not hear about that. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
I think by then we should do enough punyam so that we don't get to be there that time.
Yeah. Actually, we are all in that path right now, right? We're all learning all this. And so hopefully within 10,000 years, all our birds will be exhausted and then we'll merge back into God.
Okay. There is one beautiful thing that I remembered, where Swami Vivekananda says, and I don't want to say it the way it is explained. I'll try to find that video and I'll post it. It was conveyed through Ramakrishna Mission, somebody from Ramakrishna Mission in UK. So I'll post that, and I'll just very specifically in that video, I'll ask you to listen to the one bit that I would want to share, and what Swami Vivekananda's vision was when we on a similar discussion. Okay, we'll conclude with the Shanti mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sarvam Sri Paradevata Arpanamastu. Thank you so much for the extra half an hour.
Thank you, Sriji. Thank you very much.
We can remind people about the Friday
Oh,
talk
yes,
as well,
please,
right?
please, Mahoday, please, could you go ahead?
This Friday, this coming Friday in the evening from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock, we have a talk, and the topic of the talk is called "What Will Four People Say?" So it's based on what all our parents said, right? What will 4 people say, right? Whenever they're trying to scold us or guide us or nudge us. So it has got a very beautiful Vedantic perspective behind it, that particular question. So we will be exploring that this Friday. And once the flyers are ready, I'll be sharing it with you, hopefully tomorrow or day after. So please keep this Friday evening from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock in the evening free. Thank you so much.
It'll
Awesome.
be in
Thank you,
English, Daddy?
Yes, it will be in English.
Thank you.
Awesome. And
Thank you.
forgot to mention during Vishnu Sahasranamam, we have the Dhanvantari Mantra Japam this evening, 7 to 7:30, FYI. 7:30, I should say 7 to 7:45.
Okay,
So,
Sriji.
Taraji,
Yes.
you were saying something?
No, I just wanted to thank both of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dhanyavadaha.
Sriji. Thank you,
Thank
Shah.
you, Sriji.
Namaskaram.
Thank
Namaskaram.
you.
Thank you.
Dhanyavadaha.
Dhanyavadaha.
Thank you.
Thank you.